Okay then, so welcome to another lockdown lesson in the kitchen. This couple of videos over the next few weeks are going to be centred around beard cutting. Basic beard cutting for beginners. And what we've done is created like profile beard cuts for you guys to just have a go at and join in, be part of the experience. So we've done basic beard cuts that will guide you through different techniques and different methods of cutting beards. Obviously it's in a lockdown process at the moment, so currently we're teaching a lot online. Using blockheads isn't ideal for hair cutting or beard cutting, but it's a great alternative. So if you want to be part of this and you want to join in, the only things you're going to need to make sure you've got is a blockhead. You can get any of those online, a good stand, some scissors, some combs and a pair of clippers, or you can get those kind of clamps that you can clamp onto a table. Any of those tools and equipment would enable you to participate and join in with this experience. It is one of those things you want to get hands on, so I welcome you to be part of this kind of training experience and enjoy it really, and develop and learn those basic skills which will enable you to grow into the world of barbering successfully. Make sure the blockhead is as high as it can possibly be. Just watch your posture, and when you're cutting a beard on a real gentleman in a barber's chair, you're going to make sure that you're really concentrating on having your eyes level with the area and the design of the beard. So you do not want to be working where your posture is poor or you can't see the real detail work that we're going to start to produce. So normal sort of standard clipper work today, and we are going to be using like a wide tooth comb for beards. Obviously if you're using, if you're doing beard cutting in a barber shop, you're not going to use a small tooth comb or anything that's going to be in this particular kind of like range. Well, you could do, but realistically beards are quite thick and quite coarse, quite dense, so having a kind of like a comb which is a little bit more of a wide tooth comb to start with is going to be more beneficial. Okay, simplest task for you guys to join in as well. We're going to start with the process of applying the clippers in a straight manner. So we're going to create a guideline. Pick a part of the blockhead to work with. For instance, what we're going to do is use the blockhead. The white of the bottom area of this blockhead in particular is going to be our guide. So we're going to start to introduce our first line. Making sure that we hold our clippers in a really good manageable way and holding them really steady to ensure we can create a nice straight edge. The most important part of this process is not to go too fast. If you come in super quick, you'll push the hair off its point, plus you won't capture the hair very well and you'll miss bits and it won't be as accurate. So the secret is to hold your clippers straight, parallel, eye level, and go nice and slowly to create a really nice straight edge. Now most beard cuts won't have such a dramatic straight edge, but this is all about you learning your skills and developing your skills. Gently pushing the clippers in and gently creating a really nice structured straight edge. Combing the beard, gently releasing any of the hair from underneath that you may have missed, and literally tidy that beard shape up. Okay, so once you've got to the point of having a really nice straight edge, by using your clippers at a 90-degree angle and slowly just pushing the clippers forward, then you can switch, use a pair of mini trimmers of any description, and then just start to take off the smallest little bit of details your big clippers may have missed. You can come in with a sideways sweep as long as you're very careful and gentle, because if you're not, what you are going to do is push the beard over. So it's going to come off of its point. So in carefully is fine and across carefully is absolutely fine, as long as you're doing it slowly so you're not pushing the beard off of its direction. That way you're going to have variations of length. Alright, so once you've mastered the art of creating a straight line, standard, we're going to start to curve it. All beard shapes realistically have some shaping to them. Very rarely does it have just a straight edge. The corners will be taken off or curved. So we're going to start thinking about how we're going to develop the skills of curving. Same principle, 90-degree angle with your clippers, but this time we're just going to curve it around by just rotating our wrist and our clippers around on the corners. So at this stage what we're going to start to think about is using facial features as a bit of a guide. So we're going to go from the corner of the eye, so if we've dropped the comb down, we're going to go from this level somewhere kind of about here to put a nice curved shape in. So again, same principle with the clippers, coming off in that kind of level of the eye, and we're just going to start to naturally pop a curve in. So a bit of a guide to start with, nice and gentle, nothing too drastic, just literally hand and eye coordination. Bring in our mini trimmers just to literally start to get those tiny bit of detail bits that we could lose by using the main clippers. So you can see here we've just started to develop and push back to double check these last little bits underneath, and we're just going to kind of cut those off slightly to blend in and make sure we've not missed any little bits. And there we have a nice curved beard shape. The most difficult part is to get it so it is even on both sides. Now if you're working in a barbershop doing a customer, a very good top tip would be to turn your customer to this position so your mirror is centered on the opposite side, so you'd be cutting this shape whilst looking in the mirror at the opposite side to just get that nice balance. So now what we're going to do is move it forward slightly. We're going to stay with the same principle, cutting the beard at a 90-degree angle with the clippers, but we're going to go much more of a rounded beard shape now. So you've got to imagine that underneath this beard, the gentleman's jaw is going to be curved and it's going to be coming down in that formation. Kind of like a smiley face, I'm guessing. So what we're trying to do now is we're going to complement that shape underneath the jawline. So we're going to use the nose as a centre point to put our first guide in, and then as we come off of that guide, middle of the eye, we're going to start to curve it around. So everything's going to go slightly shorter and more rounded. So centre of the nose is our first guide. Position the clippers in to create the desired length. So straight through as we've been doing, nice and straight, nice and still, nice and steady. And then at this point, once we're comfortable that we've got our guide in place, we're going to come off that guide now with our clippers at a slight curved angle in relation to that eye position, and we're going to continue to round that beard off and create a much more of a traditional beard shape, following the contours of the natural jawline of your customer. The most important thing again is to take your time, use your clippers nice and slowly, and to ensure that you've got a really nice, even, balanced view to it. Take your time, stand back from it if you need to. Don't sweat over the small detail bits to start with. We can come back and kind of take them off. All you're doing is making sure that this curve is nicely balanced and even. So just to recap realistically, we're looking at the central nose area to start off with, and then start to think about curving when we hit the middle part of the eye, doing a curve that represents the natural jawline of a gentleman's facial features. Getting it so it's a really nice steady curve is actually far more harder than what you would think. It is about just spending that time concentrating on getting that curve right by building it out from the central point and standing parallel and judging it. One really good way you can tell whether the beard shape is accurate is if you bring yourself down lower to the line of the beard, you should see where the beard curves elements of the neckline. If you can see the same aspect on one side to the other side and it's even, then you know you're pretty good. Step one, create a very nice blunt line. Step 2, take the corners off. Step 3, round it. Okay, so join us again in the near future for some more beard cutting sort of lessons and demonstrations. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to hit the little bell button if you want to have notifications when the next beard shapes are coming up. So stay safe everybody. Ta-ra for now.